Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Milk,
Eggs,
and a Whole Lot of Tea.
and a whole lot of tea.
And we are back.
Yes.
Well, before we dive into our fabulous guest, Brandon, how are you?
I'm good. Good. Yeah, feeling refreshed.
Feeling refreshed from your trip.
Yeah, from the trip, but also, life in general too right now. I just feel good. I feel happy.
Yeah.
How about you? How are you doing today?
It's good. I'm feeling like you. Work as well.
Yeah.
Podcasting is going.
Yeah. Everything's going good in life right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Well, then enough about us.
Yes.
Let's dive into our guests that we are bringing back to the screen. Miss Ari Jackson. Ari, say hi to the crowd out there.
Nice to meet you.
Love that you are back with us. So, Allegra, how are we going to structure today's episode?
Yes. So for the ones who don't know, Ari is her second time back. So be sure to watch the episode before this, part 1, to catch up on all the tea that we spilled in regards to all things sex and a little bit about Ari, a little bit about her background. So that was part 1. Part 2, we're just going to hit it with everything. We're going to just choke slam it today.
I love it.
We're going to choke slam it with questions that we received from our viewers, friends, and families, and all things about sex, pleasure, toys, lubrication.
So there's nothing off limits today
Nothing's
is
off
what you're
limits.
saying. Nothing is off limits. Okay. And Ari, you're good with nothing being off limits, huh?
I do this shit for a living. I don't know if y'all
No, that's right. I don't think I'm ready because I already told me, because I was covering my face. I was like, put that down.
Well, I know.
Put that down.
Well, last
Stop
week,
covering your face.
I mean, we were fanning ourselves a little
Yes, it
bit
was
for the
hot.
conversations we were having and
hot.
stuff because that was
Oh,
crazy.
really? I'm over here just literally sipping tea, watching y'all stress. It was very
Oh my God, I love it. And I just snorted on a microphone. That's disgusting. All right, Ari, let's dive in today. Okay, so question 1. How can I effectively communicate my needs and desires to my partner when it comes to sex?
Yeah, this is always a fun question. Know your preferences.
Mm.
What you like, what you don't like, what you would be willing to explore. If you don't know those types of things, you can go, I'm going to suggest kinky stuff, but bdsmtest.org, you can do that online. Now, it's a 15-minute quiz, but it gives you a lot of information about your potential preferences, especially if you're something that's curious about exploring into kink and even like non-monogamy. Not me breaking out of my chest. Ignore me. So that is probably one of the best ways. And then based off of those things, usually your top 3 are the things that I would recommend engaging in conversations are hey, I took this quiz. I was wondering if it would be cool if we talked about it again, starting with the curiosity and consent. So engaging with them that way and then being I would really be into trying being tied up. How do you feel about those things? Would you be interested in wanting to explore those together? Or even the vice versa would be hey, I would just really want to expand our sex life and I would love to get some feedback from you about how you feel about that. And so you can probe that way if you're maybe not wholeheartedly, not me coming out of my clothes, wholeheartedly comfortable with being about it. That's another way that you can begin to engage with somebody.
I like that.
I like that.
I like that.
All right. Next question. Brady, you probably have to repeat it for me.
Okay.
How to keep from gagging while giving oral?
Oh, my Lord.
That's the question.
Oh, my Lord. Somebody.
Oh my
God.
Yeah. So there's 2 things that you could do. One
There's 2
is
things.
A technique where it's repeated desensitization. So even when you're brushing your teeth, your gag reflex, which is usually in the back of your mouth, just touching that with the end of the toothbrush can help desensitize how strongly you gag. Touching the back of your throat as well. There are other techniques, I believe, pinching right here, the little fat part in between your thumb. This is connected to your gag reflex.
No.
Or
really?
fucking room.
For fucking.
Shut up.
Yeah.
What?
So you can press on this while actually sucking a dick, if you will, and that can help desensitize as well. But also to breathe and humming. You can't gag and hum at the same time. So if you find yourself gagging, start to hum while you're going down. That can help distract from gagging.
I don't know if I would. I think
didn't-
I'd chuckle if somebody was humming while giving me, doing something. But I mean, hey,
Play it off. Like if you're fucking the music and stuff, like it's really good. Like I'm just really into the song. Like that's a really good technique. But yeah, humming.
I'll start.
What are you humming to right now? What was that? Okay. I like that.
I don't know, but I love it.
That's a good point.
I love it.
So there's like 3 techniques: the toothbrush technique, the
fatty hand.
the fatty hand,
Yeah.
and then touch your tongue to the tip of your.
And then the repeated desensitization with the toothbrush is going to be the most effective because that just trains your gag reflex to chill. Some of those other techniques are more in the immediate, like I feel like I'm about to like throw up on this shit, but I don't want to start. Those are more immediate kind of interventions you can do. But yeah, that toothbrush, those types of things can really help desensitize that because it's a reflex. So you got to train it not to reflex.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Damn, learning so much. Okay. Next question. Good thing I brush my teeth all the time. And I'm just kidding.
Where do you hum?
That's why it's so effective. Should be doing it at least twice a day.
Maybe at least. Okay, say that again for the viewers because some people don't. All right, so question 3. What are some tips for a plus size woman getting on top?
Oh, I love this. Okay. So it's all about positioning and comfortability. So understanding your strength points. There are positions where you can put a pillow underneath your partner to help them be able to get more into you, moving the more luscious parts of your body out of the way. This goes for anybody who's curvy. That ass be in the way sometimes. We got to move that apart. Those inner thighs.
Spread them cheeks.
That part. That belly is bellying because I'm a roll girl. I ain't got a roll on this body and I want them. I want rolls. But moving that out the way, that helps as well with like getting more depth, especially penetration is happening. To be able to get deeper in depth would be the best way. And that pillow will help leverage them into the position to do that. So best positions, I would recommend reverse cowgirl is going to be a really good position. It's going to give you a lot of leverage, keep you on your knees so you can feel confident as well. That is a really good position. Being in the chair, if you're upright in a chair and you straddle a partner, that is really comfortable as well for you and your partner to help navigate being on top.
Interesting. That's all. I mean, great techniques. Great techniques on that. And
I like that one.
But that means too, I just want to put the side note in. No matter what your size is, whatever you got going on, you can always be pleasured.
You sure can. You can always be pleasured.
Yeah, sure can.
That should be on a t-shirt.
You could always be pleasured, or you should always. Anyways,
Yeah,
that might be merch coming out. Who knows?
All right, Ari, what tips on how to orgasm while having sex?
You got to be present. It's
Ooh.
not really
That's got to be present.
you have to be present. And so if you're having some of these negative self-talks, if there's a mind-body disconnect, orgasming is going to be very difficult because there are a couple of things that require orgasm. And one of the biggest is safety and the other is security, which are psychological phenomena. It's not physiological. So you can be aroused as you want, but if you don't necessarily feel completely safe with your partner, you're not going to release your body enough to experience that type of pleasure. So what does that come down to? Communicating, having conversations before you even engage in the act. So you have a good understanding of what you need to experience pleasure.
That's a really good.
You do. You have to feel safe for sure.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You have to. Okay. So this question, are we really going to ask it?
I say ask.
All right, Ari. So I was stuck with asking this one because my co-host. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so how do you make him nut quick?
You sound so
Titillating
hesitant.
the
I
To
do
say.
because it makes me like I get a little hot, but like I don't know
Are y'all
why.
getting embarrassed
No,
by
it's not
It's just-
embarrassing. I think it's just the way it's
The way it's
phrased.
yeah, the way it's phrased.
Is like, how do you make them nut quick? Like, I don't. I mean, I guess that's a valid question. I mean, that's yeah.
how do we do it? It's very clear in my opinion. I have no questions about what we're asking here. How do
Okay,
we-
well then that's great.
That's why you are the
Absolutely.
expert.
So the most effective way is going to be titillating the prostate because that's where semen and ejaculation kind of root from. So the prostate is a walnut-sized, let's just call it organ, and it is below the ball sack, in between the anus. And it's about 2 inches inward. So messing with the perineum is what it's really called on the outer. What do some people like to call it? The gooch, the flank.
Oh yeah, the goats.
Gooch. That part, if you're a person who has consent to do this, you can stimulate that with knuckle rubs like this, pressing against it like that. That any type of stimulation to the prostate is going to increase the rate of ejaculation and as well as the intensity of orgasm. So ejaculation and orgasm are not the same. Ejaculation is semen coming out. Orgasm is the pleasurable experience of tension building. See, we don't know this shit. Language matters.
Right, that's
It
true.
does. It sure does.
I thought it was on the same.
Understanding
Go
that by stimulating the prostate, titillating the prostate, if you will, really into that word, that will help increase those types of things. So putting types of pressure on that. If your partner is comfortable with it, you can insert into 1 or 2 fingers into there and mess with the prostate this way. And that can help increase that. If they are not comfortable with that, get the balls involved. That'll do the same thing.
Got it.
Those you can massage those. The balls are very, very sensitive, and the tissue on the balls are very thin. So be mindful of the length of your nails. If you're a long nail baddie, just be conscious of that because you don't want to tear that skin when massaging or playing with that. That would
long nail baddie.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. So those are just things, especially if you're baddies that has jewels on your nails and stuff like that. Just be mindful. That can cause injury to the scrotum skin. Oh, I hate that word.
I do too. Like, why do we have to name it that? I know.
That's another way, massaging that, stroking, what is it? Firmness and frequency, firmness and friction are also really good ways to increase orgasm and ejaculation, getting somebody to nut quicker. So keeping the same type of firmness and frequency, 2-hand technique, because who has time for anything else? The jaw gets tired. So 2-hand technique. Another spot is right below the tip, the head of a penis, and the back, where kind of where you see the urethra vein. Where that connects to the head of the penis is very fucking sensitive. So if you get the base of your tongue on that and you mess with that, you get the balls combined, a little bit of prostate, they should be done real quickly.
Maybe they're gonna be.
Yeah.
So it's not that much work. Just hit the like sensitive areas.
And bless y'all's heart, women have it so much more. I mean, y'all have it.
It's called a blow job for a reason.
The job part.
It's a job, but I mean, sometimes you just can't give 100% to that job. So, especially if you've been working or talking a lot.
Yeah, and everything I do is like reparations for the patriarchy or slavery. So I'm really not going to. So
that point.
Oh, I love it.
That point. Alrighty. Let's see. Let's jump to okay. How can I effectively communicate my needs and desires to my partner when it comes to sex?
Be honest with yourself about what you need and like reflecting inward into what I'm getting and versus how I see my sex life. So maybe like fantasy versus reality comparison. One of my favorite questions to ask client is like, what do you see your sex life looking like by the end of our time together? Like, and I have heard some of the best shit. I'm trying to be swinging from the chandeliers. Like, that's what I want. I'm trying to go to sex parties with my partner. I'm trying to do all these things. And it's like, okay, is what you are wanting realistic for who your partner is and what your relationship is? And if it is, let's navigate that together. But it's an inward reflection. We have to really be honest about our sexual desires and do our best to not shame ourselves or blame ourselves for having those desires, because there is no wrong way to have sex. There is no wrong sexual experience. The only thing that matters when it comes to sex is consent. Like, that is
right.
baseline. If there is no consent, there is no sex. So really understanding that, and then broaching that conversation with curiosity and consent. Hey, I've been reflecting on these things. I want these types of things for us and myself, and I want to engage in a talk with you about it. And what is really interesting is by asking people permission to have a conversation, it really does disarm them. It really allows them to decide if they have the capacity in this moment to participate in this conversation or not. And it helps prepare them for potentially uncomfortable conversation, which we all know. Well, most of us know that talking about sex is considered taboo. And even if you're engaging in it, talking about it is not okay. That is how we've been conditioned and socialized. And I'm of the philosophy that that is so fucking stupid. I don't understand how you can be engaging in something regularly, consistently, or rarely and not have conversations about it, because it's a matter of safety. And what is the best way to keep yourself safe than having these direct and assertive conversations when you're articulating your experiences in it? And also, even after the fact, if once you do engage in the sex, debrief about that. That's what aftercare is like, what was good for you? What wasn't good for you? What was icky? Do you want to try it here? Do you not want to try it here? Like, what was your experience in sex? And that further creates a more congruency between partners, that further creates a good understanding of how people want to engage, and it gives you more information of how you can show up for your partners if you're talking about it.
Yeah. It goes back to that communication. It really does, is understanding. Just, I mean, understand who you are, who your partner is, and, you know, what is that green, yellow, red light kind of system look like, and what are your areas of green, yellow, and red? You know, and I loved that example from last week that we talked about that. So, okay.
Yes.
We got to cut it short.
Yes.
It's going to be a shorter episode, which, hey, y'all, if you are interested like us, if you still want to talk to Ari, please reach out to her. She is linked. She is tagged, everything. You can find her easily on our socials. But Ari, thank you for opening, my eyes. I can't
learned
talk
a
for
lot.
Yeah.
I definitely learned some. She dropped a lot of bit of gems.
Yeah, a lot of gems. I mean, and I could talk to you for hours on this stuff. Like, just, I mean, maybe I need a book of an appointment and just
or attend some of her classes.
Or attend the classes. Yes.
Coming.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very excited about these group courses. One, to be able to like create a community of people who are eager to learn about sex and like are curious about kink and non-monogamy, and show them that it's normal and there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I am really excited for my courses, which should be out, plugging myself, which should be out in like
please do.
Two. The course is going to be called Moving Beyond Vanilla. So
Moving Beyond Vanilla.
You know what? And we'll hype it up for you as well on our little socials. Because I'm definitely going to take it. Because why not? Of course.
Just information, if nothing else.
It is. I mean, hey, you could always learn something. So, well, Ari, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate you.
Most definitely.
And as always, everyone, thank you for joining another episode of Milk,
Eggs,
and a whole lot of tea.
and a whole lot of tea that was spilled.
Yeah.
All about sex with Ari. And she buttered it up and served it.
Served that on a roll.
She did.
On a roll. All right. Well, thank you, Ari, and we'll see you next time.
Ari.
Of course.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, girl.